back to something that I really actually wanted to talk about for a while now, and I never really got a chance to really go across the game for a while before this anime was announced, and that was Tales of Zestria, or as the anime series is known, Tales of Zestria The Cross. Now this is kind of leading up to the news that just got announced recently that the anime is slated for summer. To be fair, I thought this was going to be a full title because I think that they're still working. I don't know if they've actually finished the God Eater series recently, but for you folks to really do that, like kind of amount of work they normally like about a work or two every now and then they just work a lot in between animation. It's kind of shocking to see that they're kind of doing this, and I don't know how long this series is going to be. They still haven't slated it. My guess is going to be 26 episodes, since I believe they did that last time with the Tales, or the Abyss anime was like 24 or 26, although that wasn't done by them. I believe that was done by Madhouse, but it's like, I can't see them actually doing 50 episodes for Tales of Zestria. Now, why am I exactly talking about this more, and it's like a little bit more importantly, is because actually I have been only just recently been playing through the Tales of Zestria game, and kind of to give my whole thoughts on it, because I know it's going to be adapting anime, my kind of opinion on it is, don't get me wrong, I'll point out the best things, like the holy shit, does Ufotable just make the best fucking just animation for these games? Oh my god, the opening sequence, like when you get to hear White Light, that is a beautiful song, that is a beautiful animation. I love all of that. The war scene was fantastic, and for me, to say, I haven't gone through the entire game yet, just to put where, if anyone has played Tales of Zestria, the last bit I got to is I did Edna's trial at the whole shepherd bit. I got to see kind of a little bit about her, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. And as far as I know, I've got everyone on the actual list apart from Azan. I know I think Azan might be a party member, I'm not too sure about that, but going throughout the entirety of that and having a good gist on the game, which I can honestly say the strongest points of the game so far is, I would say Edna's the strongest character in the game. I think she's the funniest, and I think she's actually one of my personal favorites to play around with. Music, it's the best. I think this is the best music in the series like that. Next to, I'd say maybe Zilia, a bit of Abyss's music into it. Backgrounds, all the fighting scenery and all that, I love this way much more than what I got a chance to see in the Zestria and what I got to experience in the Zilia games, and even in the Abyss game as well. The backgrounds are just beautiful just to look around in, and just having that, and I believe it was that fire dungeon with the music mixing in, it was just beautiful, and it was I've never felt so immersed in a Tales game. However though, going into this, the biggest problem is honestly what you're seeing right now on this box, and it's the characters themselves. Now, I do like some of them on here. I really do like Edna. I kind of grew a little bit strong on Layla after a while. It did take me for a while. Miglio, I do like him, but he only works well really when he has his whole kind of back and forth with Saray and Edna. I feel like that works well, but I honestly think out of all the Tales games I've played, and mind you, I haven't finished this game yet, so my opinions can still change on this matter, I think this is the weakest Tales cast that I've actually played so far. And just to say what I've actually played in the Tales games, I played through Vesperia, I've gone through all of Vesperia, I've gone through Zilia and Zilia 2 and Abyss. That's actually the order of the games that I went through. I went through Vesperia first, then I went through Zilia and Zilia 2 literally in the same period, and I just ate them up. I absolutely adored them. Then I went back to go to Abyss after a great recommendation by a friend Shintai, and just, oh my god, even with that, even how much I hated Luke at the beginning, but that was the whole point of the game. You're supposed to hate him, and then the amount of the 180 that he does, even that, and he still had it melded in well with the cast. I really did like this. Saray is a very blank, and this is, mind you, this is comparing him to Yuri, this is comparing him to Jude. I mean, comparing the blank character we kind of got from Luga from 2, I think that's a little bit unfair to kind of compare him to, but kind of talking about kind of more voice acted kind of ones that we've had throughout the games. Soray's pretty weak, and the whole story about it's your destiny to kind of do the shepherd, and it has some twists and turns into it, don't get me wrong. It feels a little bit too safe compared to some of the stuff that it did. Honestly, I felt like this should have been something else, maybe the new series that they've done, Zestria, I believe that's new, or Bersia, I don't know what the new one's called. but it's like either that or a Zilia anime I would have loved. I would have adored Zilia going through that again. That would have been fantastic. And I know that they haven't done any, like, I know for so far, like, no one's ever said, like, oh, there's never been the perfect, like, Tales anime, which, mind you, these games are about, like, over, like, 100 hours long. I think so far into the game, like, me just, like, not really stopping around at, like, any of the towns, doing any side quests, focusing on fusions, focusing on like finding those little kind of like little animal things around thing. I'm like already about, I'd like to say my playtime is about 30 hours into it. I'm 30 hours into the game, which is a heavy amount to put into this game, and I've been really enjoying it. The battle system was a little bit weird, mind you, getting used to it at first. Like, mind you, I haven't played it in a while, but it was like, yeah, I've got really big doubts on this. I have, and it's like, even still, if it's 26, holy shit, like, that's gonna be a lot. They're gonna have to skip through quite a lot of stuff going into it. And even with that as well, it's like, either they do 26 or even 50. Let's just go with the scenario that they go 50. I don't think a lot of people are going to be engaged into the whole situation about, like, this entire cast for that long. Even with me, like, there was a period, like, when it was in this castle town, when there was kind of, like, going throughout, and there was, like, a bit in between that as well, where I lost very big interest in the characters, and I was like, I don't like these guys as much as I should do, and that's the whole thing with a Tales game. To me, it wasn't the gameplay that stood out to me, like in every other one. The reasons why I liked the Zestria, the reason I liked Zilia, and it going into Zilia 2 and Abyss was because one of the things that stand out in these games to me is how strong the cast is for. One of the things, especially in games, like, I love my gameplay, especially with, like, Devil May Cry, for when characterization and also as well, like, badassery and combining it with just, like, gameplay and just, like, characters itself works well. This is why Devil May Cry 3 is still one of my favorite, because I love Dante as a character. You get everything you need to know from him from the start, with some nice little interesting parts to it. It's like, I love Dante, I love the characters in that game, and it was really nicely well done, and I love that, and that was still one of my favorite games to this. And especially going for Abyss, I fucking respect Abyss out of that, and I played that on the 3DS after all things. It's the most enjoyment I've gotten out of that console since I bought Zilia. Like, Zilia was my real first time going into a Tales game on my own, and I was like, I'm getting a lot out of this, and I'm generally having a lot of fun, and I love Jude, I love Milia, I love Ellie, I love Alvin. Alvin was so good. I like Rowan. I like kind of everyone, apart from, I think, like, the last girl that you get, the girl with, like, the spear. Like, she was the only weak character in the entire group, which is a shame because she was the last one. And then the villain in, like, Zilia, he was amazing. I loved him, and the fact that him and Musette, I believe, is the other girl like that. It's like the fact that you get him, like a Gaius together in like Zilia 2, like, I love that. I love that shit. So overall, I know this is a long video for kind of a topic that didn't need kind of addressing, but I kind of wanted to get it out anyway because I have been tweeting a little bit about what I feel about in Tales of Zilia, Tales of the Zestria. Overall, I will be actually checking out the anime and I will probably review it, but I don't know if I would keep up with it though, and this isn't deterring you guys away from it. I would honestly say though, if you're gonna get into like any of the Tales games, I would not go with the anime first. I would say you want to go for the games. It's kind of like how the Persona 4 anime is. It's kind of meant more for fans than it is to actually people that have never seen the series before. I'm curious to see what you guys think in the comment section down below, but that's all for me. So I've been Savagezweipanda, and if you love Tales as much as I do, then hit that subscribe button down below, and also as well a cheeky like, and also as well, let me know what your favourite Tales games down below. Personally, out of, like, for the longest, it was Zilia for me, and I've still got to say, like, I think my favourite and the best story-wise and all that, and I think it kind of really just cemented to me, is Abyss. I think still Abyss to this day. It's going to be a while since something tops that. But, like, you know, we never know anything out of the corner. I definitely grew a very nice bond between Zilia. I had a laugh with, like, Zestria, and I'm looking forward to going to the others. I'm looking forward to going to Symphonia, and I'm looking forward to going to Graces. I will catch you guys and you Tales fans next time.